Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the NoDQ.com live recap of AEW Dynamite for Wednesday, July 14th. It's Wednesday night. You know what that means. And to answer Dylan in the chat room, it was a sold-out crowd in Texas near the city of Austin, Cedar Park, a suburb of Austin, Texas. Almost forgot the city, but what a show. AEW back on the road. First Dynamite outside of the state of Florida with paying fans since the pandemic started, and the fans were very much missed. They brought the energy, and this was a hell of a show. So let's get right to it. Shout out to everybody in the chat room for watching this live. If you're watching on demand, I appreciate your viewership as well. And if you do enjoy this video, please give it a like, leave a comment on YouTube. Let me know your favorite part about Dynamite this week in the comments on YouTube. And let's get to this recap. We started off hot and heavy. We had Jon Moxley, the IWGP United States Champion, going up against Machine Gun Carl Anderson. And right from the get-go, you had Jon Moxley coming down with the Wild Thing music. The crowd was red hot for this. They were chanting AEW right from the get-go. You had Eddie Kingston with a steel pipe. He went right after Luke Gallows and got Gallows out of the equation, so it would be one-on-one. It was noted by the announcers that because a New Japan Pro Wrestling Championship was being defended, there would be New Japan rules, meaning there would be a 20-second count instead of 10. Moxley and Anderson traded blows. Crowd was doing the boo and the yay. They fought on the outside for an extended period of time because of the rules. Moxley got suplexed on the stage, and then the match got back in the ring, went back and forth. Anderson hit a stun gun, was not able to make the cover. He hit another one, got a near fall, and then he came off the top, but Moxley caught him, and then Moxley hit the paradigm shift. 1, 2, 3, retained his championship. And the crowd went wild for that. Really fun opening match. Great way to start off this Dynamite in Texas. Backstage, we had a promo from Lance Archer, and he wants his IWGP United States title rematch against Moxley, and he challenged Moxley to a Texas death match on next week's show. Later on, Moxley cut his own promo accepting the challenge, and that will take place on next week's show. Virtue is in the chat room doing what he does best. And Colin Andrews said, great opening match. I agree. Greg said, AEW has such a stacked roster. Think of the guys who did not compete tonight. No wonder they're starting a second show called Rampage. Friday nights will be very interesting. Absolutely. And I really liked the video to hype up Rampage that they showed, the little commercial for it. Looking forward to Rampage when that starts up. That'll be after SmackDown, although that's another hour of wrestling I'll have to recap for you guys, but so be it. Next up, we had a promo from Andrade, and he was talking with subtitles on the screen. He talked in Spanish a little bit. He wanted to know, where is the Death Triangle? He is looking for them. Guess we'll be seeing Andrade against Pac at some point. Next up, we had the FTW Championship match. We had Ricky Starks facing the champion, Brian Cage. Taz was on commentary. Crowd was really into this match. Dueling chants for both guys. Cage had a hot start, but then Starks got the upper hand. Cage hit a reverse pump handle slam, but then Starks managed to get his foot under the rope. Starks hit a sit-down powerbomb for a near fall. Starks then went for the championship, I guess to use it as a weapon, but then Will Hobbs, who was at ringside, grabbed the championship from him. Cage hit his F5, which Starks was able to kick out of. And then Hook distracted the referee. And then Hobbs, we had the big swerve. Hobbs hit Cage with the title. And then Starks hit a big spear. Crowd popped huge for this. And Starks pinned Brian Cage to win the FTW title. Crowd really loved Starks, even though he's a heel. I think it's clear AEW made the wrong choice with who the face and who the heel is in this storyline, because the crowd was just loving Ricky Starks, and he cheated to win the title. Crowd did not care. Hamp Connell with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Hamp. I appreciate it. Says, when is Andy from Tough Enough going to debut? No idea, Hamp. Not even sure who Andy from Tough Enough is, to be totally honest with you. We had Cody Rhodes arrive, and of course last week he was attacked by the debuting Aleister Black. And Cody had no music. He just went right to the announce position, and he said a phone call would have been proper. But Black decided to show up and kick a 62-year-old man in the face. Cody was not happy. He grabbed the microphone. He said he has a better chance in a fight when he knows it's coming. We then had Malachi Black, Tommy Yen, whatever you're calling him. He was in this dark, smoky room. He cut a promo on Cody, and Cody invited him to the ring. So the lights went out, and Black appeared in the ring. A huge fight broke out. The referees got into the ring. Everybody was trying to separate Cody and Black. And of course, we get our first Let Them Fight chance of the new era, with fans being back, and probably will not be the last one, especially now in WWE, they love their Let Them Fight pull apart brawls. But since this was the first one in a while, I'm okay with it. Let's see here. No DQ Virtue sent in a $2 super chat to let everybody know No DQ Review is live tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern. And we got a stacked show. We got a big panel for tomorrow, so make sure you guys tune in for that. Episode number 147, 8 o'clock Eastern. I'm sure we'll be talking about all the big topics of this week. So thank you for that, Virtue. We had Santana and Ortiz backstage, and they grabbed Tully Blanchard and they teased attacking him, but said that they respect their elders, and they said that that's a warning, and they want a piece of FTR. We had Tony Schiavone interviewing Hangman Adam Page. Crowd loved Page, and Page said he came so close to winning the AEW title but failed. He needs that championship, and he was going to issue a challenge to Kenny Omega, but then Don Callis interrupted. We had the Elite show up. Matt Jackson got in the ring, had something to say to Page's face. He said that Page abandoned them to join the Dark Order, and he thinks that Page is still hitting the bottle. He referred to Page as a sad, lonely cowboy drunk, and said that Page is going to be the next wrestling tragedy. Page attacked him. Dark Order ran down because the Elite were surrounding the ring. Page said he wants a match. Omega proposed a match, but instead of a one-on-one match, the idea was a 5-on-5 elimination match, Survivor Series style. Page agreed to this, but said that when they win, Page, the Dark Order, they want title opportunities. Crowd was chanting cowboy shit, and Omega did agree, but said that Page will not get an opportunity at the title if they lose that 5-on-5 match. And Page, of course, accepted the terms, and that match will be taking place at some point. Not on this show, though, because we already had enough going on. So build up for that. Good stuff here from everybody. And Mohammed says, what's good, Aaron? Happy Wednesday. What a good way to start AEW tonight with the fans coming back. Absolutely. The fans brought the energy to this show, and it really felt like we're right back to where we left off from early March of 2020 before everything went down. The crowd was reacting, and just the show had a ton of energy, from the fans to the performances. Like, everybody brought their A game and just made for a really enjoyable show. We had Chris Jericho cut a promo backstage and said he will walk through fire to get to MJF. Shawn Spears attacked Jericho, and then MJF walked into the room and said that the first match that Jericho has to do in the series of matches next week, it will be Jericho versus Shawn Spears. Only Spears can use a chair and Jericho cannot. That will take place next week at Fyter Fest 2. We had Matt Hardy versus Christian, and how crazy is that? Matt Hardy versus Christian in an AEW ring with Jim Ross doing commentary. And Matt Hardy left the Hardy family guys in the back, so it would be one-on-one. It was mentioned by Excalibur that Christian has never defeated Hardy in a one-on-one match. And when the announcer says that, you know what that means. That means Christian's beating Matt Hardy here. So, good match here. It was fine. Pretty standard, though. I mean, it was like your typical Raw or SmackDown TV match. Christian was beat down for a while, made a comeback, hit a spear, got an ear fall, did a frog splash. Matt Hardy kicked out of that. Matt Hardy hit a big superplex. Christian kicked out of that. Hardy hit a low blow when the referee was not looking. The referee was trying to get between them, and Hardy distracted the referee, so the referee did not see the low blow. Matt hit a twist of fate, which Christian kicked out of, and then Christian came back, hit the kill switch, and picked up the victory. And after the match was over, the Hardy family office ran down, but then Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus came down to even the odds. Crowd popped big for that. I mean, the crowd reacted huge to pretty much everything on this show, so it was great. We had Miro with a little video promo talking about being the Redeemer, and his TNT title now has a white strap instead of a black strap, kind of like the IC title would have the white strap. We had Tony Schiavone interviewing Britt Baker, and I'm still not sure, is Britt Baker a babyface now? I mean, the crowd reacted to her like she's a babyface. She called herself the baddest bitch on the block, and the crowd started chanting DMD, although she did not soak it in. I'm not sure if it was her acting like a heel or inexperience or whatever, but normally when the crowd starts chanting, you pause for a minute to give the fans a chance to get their chant in, and she just kept talking over them. So wasn't sure what was up with that, but she said that she's in a league of her own, and Nyla needs the title to have any significance. We then had Nyla and Vicky Guerrero backstage cutting a promo, hyping up the match for next week, the championship match. We had a one-on-one match. Wheeler Yuta, who was a protege of the Best Friends, making his Dynamite debut, and he's been wrestling on AEW Dark. This is how you know that these are diehard fans, because they popped big for Yuta, and this is the first time I've seen him, because I admit I have not been following Dark. We had Yuta versus Sammy Guevara. It was in Texas, Sammy's home state, so of course, crowd loved Sammy, and he really soaked it in. He was showboating. He was just having a great time. He went for a shooting star, I should say, but Yuta got his feet up, and Wheeler hit a big splash, but only got a 1 count, and didn't really get much offense beyond that. Basically a showcase match for Sammy Guevara in his home state. He had a springboard cutter and a GTH to pick up the victory. Then we had a backstage segment with Tony Schiavone getting some kind of drink dumped on him by QT Marshall. We then had Penelope Ford versus Yuka Sakazaki. Not sure how to pronounce her name. This match, even though we have fans again, we're on the road again, the women's match still gets that 9:30 spot. Match was good. Crowd loved Yuka. So again, you know these are really die-hard fans because I remember she wrestled a long time ago, but I'm barely familiar with her at all. Yet everybody in this crowd knew who she was. So yeah, these are some really die-hard fans. And Ford hit the pump kick, but Yuka kicked out of it, and then Yuka hit a springboard splash to pick up the win. Pretty solid match here from these two. And then we had our main event of the evening, Darby Allin versus Ethan Page. We had several guys dressed in black, bringing a coffin to the ring. Darby went right after Page, and Darby took off his shirt. He had a steel plate on his back, and he did a coffin drop to Ethan right off the bat. I'm not sure why he took it off. He should have kept it on for the whole match and used it as an offensive weapon, since this was a coffin match and anything goes in this type of match. We then had Scorpio Sky, who was hiding in the coffin, and he attacked Page, but then Sting came down to even the odds. Kind of been a running theme on this show. Every time the good guys are outnumbered, the reinforcements come down. Sting arrived. Crowd popped huge for that. They fought in the crowd, and Sting went for a Stinger splash. Cameraman missed it completely. I think Sting might have missed. I'm not even sure because the cameraman did not catch it. Ethan Page unhooked the turnbuckle hook, and then Page and Darby fought in the crowd for a while. Darby jumped off the balcony but got caught, and then they ended up back in the ring, and they took turns using the turnbuckle hook on each other. Darby took it and put it in Page's mouth. Page got cut open at some point. And then Page hit the Ego's Edge, a super Ego's Edge, off the top onto the steel steps. Crowd started chanting, "This is awesome." And then Darby was about to be put into the coffin, but as a last-ditch effort, Darby grabbed at his eyes and grabbed his skateboard, went up to the top and did a stomp to the back of Page using the skateboard. Page fell into the coffin. Darby closed the lid and was victorious in the coffin match. And then afterwards, Darby climbed up to the top and hit a big coffin drop through the coffin for good measure, just to put the final nail in Ethan Page's coffin. And that, my friends, was the end of Dynamite. And like I said, really fun show. First hour was excellent. Second hour, it was a little more standard. Overall, I'm going to give the show a B+. Really strong start to the return of at least somewhat of a return to normalcy in the world with AEW Dynamite. Definitely felt like, as I mentioned earlier, right back to where we left off from early 2020. Without that crowd, if this was a Daily's Place, I'd probably give this Dynamite a B or a B-, and the fans, the energy that they brought, obviously brought it up. Michael Wayne with a B. Virtue gives it a C. Mohammed with a B-, Terry with an A, Daniel with an A-. Mike Mira says an A from me, dog. Awesome night. Hamp Connell gives it a B+. Curtis Butler, Calvin Bowman, and Wade Kingston give it a B. And the Cleaver, Colin Andrew, gives it a B-. And he says, see you all tomorrow night for the review. Absolutely. So thank you guys for tuning in. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Tell a friend. Spread the word. We got the review coming up. And SmackDown Houston, Texas. Looks like it's a sold-out crowd. We'll see how WWE does their first show in Texas on Friday. Tune in for that, and I will see you guys next time.